switch on over into our classroom. It looks like you guys have a good start on the word search though. Okay, before we go into the classroom then, who wants to see the remaining word search? Okay, let's go ahead and we'll reveal that then. There you go. You guys were pretty quick with that though. All right, we'll go ahead and switch on over. And the Bible study quote was actually inspired by Bridger, by the way. He used it as one of his examples, clue for his fallacy example that he shared during our week 2 discussion. I don't know if anybody maybe remembers that. Apparently, another fun side effect of my computer rebooting was that my camera was not quite ready yet either when I popped into the room. So, can everybody see and hear me now? Okay, good. So here is hoping that the update that my computer insisted that I do right before class today doesn't cause us any issues. Welcome to week 4 of Informal Logic, everybody. Can you believe 4 weeks already? It's flying by. All right, so as we begin our time together today, let's pray. Lord, thank you for the opportunities we had this week to practice together what we have been learning in a creative way. It is so fun that you've blessed us with the ability to express ourselves in so many different ways creatively. Help us to be good observers, attentive to seeking your heart and truth for our lives. Guide our time together today as we grow in our understanding. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, let's get started here with the riddle, a quick brain teaser to help get our synapses firing. So riddle me this. In unity I stand with my kin, a guardian for what lies within. Alone I am small, but together I click. Assemble me wisely. I'm not a stick. What am I? So someone suggests archer? No. It's something that you can assemble with a click. Click is our big clue on this one. I think somebody's on to me. I see the correct answer out there. Oh, and Nora's close as well. Kinley, yep, okay. You guys are on to me. It is a Lego brick. Today is actually National Lego Day, so happy National Lego Day. Any fans of Legos? We love them here. Oh, Elliot was celebrating and he didn't even know it. All right, so before we launch into our homework quiz review for today, this quiz apparently was a little bit tougher than last week. But overall, most of you were still tracking well with the concepts. So some of the hiccups, I think, this time around came from the question formats, maybe. Several questions required 2 correct answers to earn the full credit for the question. You got partial credit if you got at least one of them correct, or if you guessed 2 and one of them was correct, you did get partial credit. So careful reading of those questions really was important this time around. Okay, so never fear, just like last week though, if you remember to take your first attempt by the end of yesterday, you now have the chance to take the homework quiz number 2 a second time. Okay, so I highly recommend that because remember, your best score counts, no downside to trying it again. So public service announcement here, PSA, to get your 2 chances each week, remember you take the quiz once before your next class and then take it a second time after class once you've reviewed your notes, the book, and your and you've asked questions if you have any. Okay, so now we're back to our bucket of names for our quiz. Now it looks like we have all but one person in the classroom right now, and I think I know who that is, but because I was delayed today with my update that insisted on happening right before class, I did not get all of my sticks prepared here to know for sure who I'm missing. So I think I've got who it is, but we're gonna use our bucket of sticks again as we get into our homework. So remember, if I draw your name, come on mic if you can, and if you don't have mic access, just let me know in the chat and then we'll look for your response there. Okay? Thumbs up. Thank you, thank you. All right, so I'm going to start off. I only have a couple people who haven't been chosen yet. So we'll start off with those 2, and then I'm going to re-add all of the sticks back into the mix. Okay, so first up today is a true-false question. And let's see. Fred, are you here? Give me a thumbs up if you're here, Fred. Not sure if I see him. Yep, I'm hearing crickets too. Let me look through my list here. He may be the one that I'm missing. Yep, looks like he's the one I'm missing today. See, that's how that goes. Okay, so Lily, you're up then. All right, Lily, so first up today is true false. Ad miscordium comes from the Latin meaning what?
It comes from the Latin, or it is
I guess
false.
first of all, is it? Yeah, this is false, correct. So do you know what it does come from?
I don't remember, I'm sorry.
Nope, that's okay. This one comes from argument to pity. So miscordium is actually associated with the appeal to pity fallacy. So that was the trick of this particular one. Thank you, Lily. All right, next up. So this is one of our 2 correct options questions. Let's see here. How about Hazel? All right, so Hazel, if you're with us, if you can tell us which of the options apply to the following fallacy description: appealing to the emotions of a crowd or to the common man to make up for a lack of solid evidence or sound reasoning. Which of the following applies to that?
Mob appeal?
You are correct. Very good.
Argumentum ad populum.
Yep, excellent. Argumentum ad populum is the corresponding Latin term for that. Awesome. Okay, let's see, who do we have next here? So another of our 2 correct options questions. Josiah C., if you would. Which 2 options apply to the following fallacy description? A speaker tries to persuade us by making us feel sorry for him or others. Which are our 2 answers for that one, if you would?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Appeal to pity and argumentum ad misericordiam.
You got it. Excellent. Okay, our next one here is one of our drop-down options. And this is, on these, I was not sure if it was just confusing because you had all of the options, or, yeah, wasn't sure if it was helpful or not. But in this case, Nora, if you could tell us which fallacy option correctly completes the statement? Which of these is an appeal to emotion that distracts by playing on a person's desire to feel special?
Snob appeal.
You got it. Very good. All right, next up, another drop down. Josiah, if you would. If you don't speak up for the oppressed minorities in this country by enacting legislation against hate crimes, then prejudice and violence will increase. Which fallacy is this committing?
Is that the appeal to fear?
You got it. Very good.
Thank you.
All right, another drop down here. How about Kinley? Most people I know are discontinuing their home phone plans and are just using cell phones. You should consider it. Which fallacy option correctly completes that statement? Excuse me.
I'm gonna go with mob appeal.
And you would be correct. Very good. And finally, one more of those 2 correct options questions. So let's see who's our lucky person for this one. How about Bridger? Bridger, which 2 options apply to the following fallacy description? An appeal to possible bad consequences that will follow if one doesn't accept the speaker's argument without showing a clear causal link.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. That would be appeal to fear and argumentum ad baculum.
Very good. You know, with ad baculum, for some reason, it makes me think of Dracula. And so the fear, that helps me remember that the argumentum ad baculum, and okay, coming back into our main room now. So, what did everyone think about that particular video? Is this an appeal to emotion? And if so, which one? Yep, movie time. It was a short movie, though. Now I see a lot of folks saying that you think that if this is an appeal to emotion, the emotion would be fear. Nobody got my popcorn either, Elliot. So actually this video is illustrating reasoning and not fear. Anybody know why? Why this is not an appeal to fear? Very good, Bridger. Yep. Very good. So Bridger is correct. The point that we're making here is that just because fear shows up in an ad or argument doesn't automatically make it a fallacy. There are lots of potential physical ramifications to your body when you vape, smoke, and explaining the real health effects isn't manipulation. It's just giving you some good solid information to make a decision with. Okay, so when my sons were little, think preschool, early elementary age, I would ask them to hold my hand in the parking lot. I explained to them that I didn't want them to get hit by a car. And since they were short, driving cars wouldn't be able to see them. Do you guys, any of you remember your mom saying something similar to you? Yep. So that sort of thing is not an appeal to fear. Neither your mom or I were trying to terrify you into holding our hand, right? We were just trying to share with you that you could be hit by the car. We were giving you real, responsible explanation because the risk was real. You could have gotten hurt, or if you got hit, if drivers in the parking lot didn't see you. That's not manipulation. It's just good reasoning. Maybe, Elliot. That might be. In that case, that might have been more manipulation. Okay, so we're going to do, let's see, I'm trying to decide on this one because I've seen the awesome scripts that you all came up with, and we've got a lot of ground to cover in the scripts, and I want to make sure that we've got time for that. So I think I might hold on to this one. We might come back to it. So we're going to go past this for now. All right. So, like I said, everybody, I kind of peeked in on your discussion groups this week a few times, and it looks like all of you are ready to rock this. Have all the groups decided how they will be presenting their scenes? The options as a group are each person read a portion of the script as a character, and it doesn't have to be in character. Or the group can nominate a member ahead of time or have me nominate somebody from your group to read your group's entire script. So if you haven't already decided, I'll give you a moment in the group chat here to see if we can get that sorted. I'm pretty sure group C was planning to do theirs like everybody was going to read a little bit, correct? Okay, it looks like Elliot and Kinley in Group C have sorted out what they want to do. And Jeff, are you up for reading for Group D? Is that correct?
Does my mic work?
It does. Is this Elliot?
Yep, just tested.
Okay, good. Okay, so I have the scripts. If you may have a different version, but what I was planning to do is share the scripts so everybody can see as the group is going through it. And then if your group is not presenting, I'd like the rest of us, to be looking for the fallacies, right? The mob appeal, ad populum, appeal to fear, ad baculum, and the appeal to pity, the ad miscordium in each of these scripts. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to sleuth out. And I just want to there was one of the groups, I don't remember which one it was now, but one of the groups had identified their fallacies. Just to let you know, I took those identifications out so that you guys are on equal footing with everyone else. Does that make sense? Okay, so I think we're gonna switch into a little bit different settings so that we can share the scripts. But we should still have our class chat, and I'll have my video up as well. So I'm going to pop us into that share. Okay, thumbs up if everybody's with me here. Okay, good. All right, so I think if it's okay with Group C, since you seemed ready to present, Elliot and Kenley, I'm going to bring Group C's script up first. That's okay? Okay. Yes.
Can you hear me? Am I too loud?
Nope, you sound pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and pull your script up here. Let's see. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do it as a screen share here. So many options sometimes. Okay, and we are with Group C. You guys see that okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and I will try to keep up with you here.
Okay, so the scene is some parents and their 3 kids are sitting at the kitchen table trying to nail down a location for their next family vacation. The parents: we both agree that you kids are old enough to have a say in where we go. What do you guys think? Kathy is age 12. Mama, Dad, remember the magazine I was looking through at Grandma's the other day? Well, it said that an animal shelter out south needs volunteers for the second weekend in July desperately. It says that nobody will be there to help the poor animals if nobody steps up. It's only 4 hours away. Why don't we go help the cute doggies? They need us just to survive, it said. Or, I don't really care, but Mama, Dad, I was thinking we could take Sport no matter where we go. You have to agree that he gets so lonesome and almost skinnier every time we leave him at that horrible boarding pound. Do we want to do that to him again? I'll probably cry the whole time if we did.
Kid number 2, Luke, age 8. Ugh, to go hang out with critters on our trip? No way. Mommy, all my soccer buddies have been talking at like pretty much every practice about how great their trips to Disneyland were. Right? Shows them all everything. It's the best ever. I don't want to be different, so let's go there. Kid 3, Colin, age 10. Pets, cartoon creepers. Are you guys nutty? Mom, Dad, I already told you I want to go to a beach resort, preferably one with the internet. Vacations are for unwinding and relaxing, not really working or scaring the socks off of you. I've heard about some of the amusement park rides. I will literally put wet socks in you guys' bed and glue your toothbrush to the holder. And I'll be no fun. I'll be a wet blanket the whole time, and annoyance if you don't let me have this one. I'm serious. Dad, I see. You kids certainly have your opinion.
Mom, I'm sure we'll figure something out. I hope. We might just have to go to Aunt Marge's in Idaho.
No! Dad says smugly. Well, at least you all agree on something. The end, for now.
The
Before the
end.
next episode.
Very good. All right, everybody. So for those of us not in good clap, yes, for sure. Applause, you guys. Good job. So, and good job reading, Elliot and Kinley. Thank you. It was very fun. You guys did a really good job with it. So now for everybody else, I saw a couple of guesses pop up as far as where we found the appeal to pity, mob appeal, and appeal to fear. Does anybody want to tell us where they noted or saw the appeal to fear in Group C's skit? Any volunteers? You can come on mic if you want to share with us. Yeah, I think Josiah B., you're exactly right. I think that last one was an appeal to fear from Kid 3. I will literally put wet socks in your guys' beds. Seriously. Yep, it was a threat or an appeal to fear. Did anybody find the mob appeal argument in that one? Yep. I think Riley is right about mob appeal as well. Good job, Riley. Good spot. So all my soccer buddies have been talking about how great their trips are to Disney. Yep, that's definitely mob appeal. How about the appeal to pity? Who spotted that one? Anyone? Yep, the first child, Kathy. Kathy was the one who was appealing to pity. They need us to survive, those poor puppies. Very good, you guys. Nicely done. Okay, let's see. What group is ready to go next? Do we have a volunteer group for next one? Group A, are you ready to go maybe? So group A, that would be Josiah, Calissa, McKenna, and Fred. Are you all ready to go? I think I saw a couple of people asking if Fred wanted to read for group A. Fred, are you up for that? Okay, coming up then, here comes group A. I have a little bit of ground to cover as far as new coursework, but I think we're doing all right. Let's see, is group D prepared to present? So that would be Renee, Riley, Micah, and Mireya. Okay. All right. Looks like you guys are ready. So I'm going to go ahead and bring your skit up then. So thanks, guys. Very well done. So we have one more group to present then, Group B. Are you ready to present? Okay, so Group B, that's Lily, Jeff, Bridger, and Hazel. Who will be presenting for your group? Or will you guys be doing it together? I was not planning on choosing the best script, but I might let you guys vote on it. Hazel will? Okay. I'll go ahead and bring your script up then for you guys, for Hazel, for Group B. All right, Hazel, here we go. Group B script. Are you able to come on mic?
Yeah.
Okay.
The busy streets of New York bustle with people and notices. Pocahontas. I no longer possess my fur coat trade. So tell me, how should I gain my worth in this mysterious new world I am in? Marco Polo. Ah, well, I know. I can make my beautiful wages to these new treasures that Khan himself couldn't even have imagined. So I do nothing. Marco runs into the busy street and almost gets hit by a car. Julius Caesar. Fellow Marcus, you must be careful. The barbarians who attack me daily would tremble before you, so I will make it my duty to keep you alive. King Tut. Where are my advisers, you strange men? Kershai, god of destiny, has stirred his wrath upon me. St. Louis. Oh dear King Tut, do not fret, we are here for a reason. Thou God is much less significant than thou true God above that sent thee here. Now make me a show. They all look as blasting music arrives a few feet away from them. People put coins in the dancers with the music hat. Marco Polo, dear Lord above, that surely must be their grand currency, which is so many depend upon. How does anyone know how to dance like this true knight right over there? They all shake their heads. Several hours of tramping around the city pass as historical icons stumble upon a group of people putting on a show doing various talent tricks. They walked over with curiosity. The man who was leading the show recognized the costumes King Tut, Julius Caesar, Pocahontas, Marco Polo, and King Louis, who were obviously standing out in the open, and invited them up thinking they were performers. The five stepped onto the stage, not really sure what to do. Pocahontas. My countrymen, the last 17 days have been heavy challenge and blessings for me. I have seen so many wonderful sights and met wonderful people on my journey from afar. She nods to King Tut, Caesar, Marco, and Louis. Pocahontas. However, I sold my second to last fever cell today to eat at the cafe down the street, and I do not know what to do. I promised my husband that I would meet him in England, but I must find cause to earn money. A light murmur traveled through the crowd, and they thought it was all for show. King Tut stepped onto the podium. King Tut, listeners, hear me. What my comrade here said is true, but one thing is missing. Pocahontas here is stopping in England to join her husband. The real mission is to convince Queen Victoria to send reinforcements to us at the eastern shore to protect from the Egyptian navy, who will soon attack and destroy men, women, and children. Marco Polo and St. Louis looked at each other with concern. Marco Polo, dear St. Louis, you don't think they are using a forbidden ad misquoting an ad vacuum? St. Louis, I'm not sure, but so, dear friend, shall we intervene? Marco Polo, no, we must be patient. Will they return from the depths of the fallacy pit? Caesar stepped onto the front of the stage and lifted his hand in announcement. Caesar, Caesar, ladies and gentlemen, why listen to this Native American and Egyptian? Do you all know nothing of what everyone from around the world is joining? Join my beautiful Rome. I own half of the world. Everybody is joining my grand empire, so why not you? St. Louis and Marco Polo, oh dear, not ad populum. The crowd laughed as they all switched to look at Marco Polo and St. Louis. Marco Polo, do all these not see to Do all thee not see to the description of these three figures? St. Louis. Gee, look at the woman amongst us on stage. She is the terrible ad Miss Condorcet. Sorry, I don't know how to say that.
That
Or
was
as
a tricky one.
or as thou simpleton Newlanders may say, the wretched appeal to pity. The crowd gasped. Marco Polo, yes, and see over there, the man adorned in gold, our Philistine text. He used the forbidden ad baculum. Or ye might call it too, a fear to steal. Here. The crowd gasped again in shock. St. Louis. And worst of all, the one who betrayed all, he's Julius Caesar, who deceived using the horrendous ad populum. Marco Polo. As you might call it, mopapule, which means against the off joined Rome for no good reason. St. Louis. Let us be a reason for all of thee to study and recognize these styles, just so that we are not deceived. The crowd. Yes, of course. Amen.
Very good. Thank you, Hazel. So that one was a little bit trickier for me to take out the fallacies. So we did actually get in that one the fallacies as we went along. Did everybody recognize them as they were going, even before they were called out? Yep. I thought all the groups did a really good job. And I think those of you who got in on the discussion early on can attest to the fact that that was super helpful to be in there from the beginning so that you kind of knew what was coming and could fully participate. Yep, good job. Good job, everyone. Nicely, nicely done. Okay, we're going to switch back into our regular main room. Now, wanted to just say we're going to go ahead and we're going to pop into our we're at a good time here for a little bit of a break, and then we'll get into our new content. So we're going to take our we'll take our 5-minute break here. I'll go ahead and leave the chat up, but we're going to, like I said, take our break. See you in 5. Okay. Break time's over. So how did everybody like our skit activity? Was that a good experience for you? I'm glad you thought it was fun. I thought it was fun. You guys did a great job. Okay, so now we are ready to head into some new content. This week, we're going to meet the last two fallacies in the second subgroup of the fallacies of relevance, appeal to emotion. So we're carrying on with the appeals to emotion. Remember, this is a subgroup of the fallacies of relevance. So we've got group, subgroup, and then some subgroups under the subgroups. So we've got layers for sure, like onions, like Shrek would say. A subgroup of the fallacies of relevance. They're arguments that attempt to sway people's opinions by appealing to emotions such as pity, anger, fear, joy, peer pressure, intimidation, and more. So last week, we introduced the first four fallacies in this subgroup. Can anybody list the first four fallacies in the appeal to fear, well, appeal to emotion rather, appeal to emotion category? Yep, appeal to fear is one of them. Mob appeal is another. Yep, good. Appeal to pity. Yep. Hunger is not one. Snob appeal, though, is our fourth one. Very good, guys. Very nicely done. Okay, so today in part 2 of chapter 2, we're going to introduce the last two appeals to emotion, which are appeal to intelligence, or just kidding. I'm on I think I'm, no, not appeal to lunch yet either, or breakfast. We're back to the hobbits here. So no, the last two appeals to emotion are appeal to illegitimate authority and their appeal to chronological snobbery. All right, so appeal to illegitimate authority is also called argumentum ad verecundiam. So that's another one that's fun to say, isn't it? Yeah, there are a ton of these out there. So this fallacy uses emotion by citing authorities who aren't truly credible. And there, like you said, Kinley, there are a ton of examples of this out in the world. Now, this category actually has kind of four, sorry, a little bit of something stuck there. It has four main forms. So the first main form is a wrong or false expert. So an example of that might be something like a car mechanic who says, this diet plan will cure diabetes, so it must work. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's wrong. However, if you're using him as an expert, he's the wrong expert because his expertise is cars, not medical claims. Does that make sense? Good. Now, the next one in the same vein is called a biased expert. So this is somebody who has something to gain from the outcome. So they might be a real expert, they might have real expertise, but their personal or financial interest makes their opinion biased. So an example of this could be a scientist who says, our new energy drink is completely safe and the best on the market. After all, I helped create it. Does he maybe have a little skin in the game there? Yeah, exactly. So they may be an expert, but their opinion could be just a wee bit biased. Another one in this vein is the unnamed expert. So this is a situation where the authority is vague or anonymous. So think something like there's experts say this study method is the best, so we should totally use it. So that statement isn't telling us who the expert is, just experts, just a general statement, right? So there's no specific expert or source that's being named. There's no way to check the credibility or the qualifications of the experts. I'm actually loving the fact that you don't know who Oprah is, Elliot. Okay, so finally, the celebrity expert is our last one in this vein. And this is somebody who's famous, but not actually knowledgeable or an expert in the relevant field. So somebody who is endorsing something that they don't actually have any expertise in. So a famous actor says, this vitamin supplement will cure anxiety. So it must be true. Does that make sense? Yep, a famous person. So the actor may be well known, but they aren't a medical or mental health professional. So their authority doesn't apply to the claim. Yep, you got that. In short, these appeals all attempt to shame people into agreement by creating a false sense of authority. Recognizing them helps us make better decisions instead of being swayed by or cowed due to shame. Is anyone unfamiliar with the term of being cowed? Do you know what that means? That's not part of the fallacies, just curious. So if somebody says that they're being cowed by someone, it means that they're feeling that they're being caused to submit to somebody's wishes, maybe being intimidated. So in this case, when we're talking about appeal to illegitimate authority, somebody throwing out an authority is trying to cow the person who they're arguing by making them feel shame and intimidation so that they back down. Does that make sense? Yep. And somebody did say these can be somebody's opinion. And yes, it can be somebody's actual opinion, but it shouldn't be weighted as any more important than anyone else's opinion. And that's what they're trying to do in this case, is they're trying to say this person is an expert and we should give them a lot more kind of prominence, or we should regard their opinion more because they're an expert. And if they're a false expert, like one of these reasons we've just stated, then no, they shouldn't be given any more weight. Their expertise is a false kind of expertise, so their argument shouldn't be weighted any more credibly than anyone else's. Does that make sense? Okay. And yes, it can be a little strange when people make more or make references to popular culture, Elliot, that you're not familiar with, but it can actually be kind of nice too. I had a friend who she went to a one-room schoolhouse and she was in South Dakota, so she didn't know a lot of pop culture references. So it was always actually kind of fun for her friends in college to try to stump her. But she also had a lot of fun with it. Okay, so the next one is fallacy number 10, and this is chronological snobbery. And it's actually another one that is kind of a two-parter, so it's not got 4 parts to it like our last one, but this one is 2 sides kind of the same coin. Chronological snobbery shows up as an appeal to either tradition or an appeal to novelty. So they're saying we should do this because we've always done this, or we should do this because it's brand new. And either way, the goal is to sway us by playing on our desire to stick with what's familiar or rush out toward what's new. So first, the appeal to tradition. It's a classic. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This fallacy suggests something is right just because it's always been done that way. Sometimes in church, people say this like with hymns, like we should just sing hymns because we've always sung hymns. Doesn't mean that the hymns are bad or good. The argument is just we should do it because we've always done it. That's an appeal to tradition. Now, we've always done school this way, so it must be the best way. There's no reason to change it. That would be another one, right? That'd be another example of that same idea. All right. And on the flip side, the appeal to novelty pulls us in with the promise of the newest or best thing. You know, iPhone is great at doing this. I think you guys probably can name some other brands that are like, hey, we've got this new thing out, and everybody rushes to buy it even before they necessarily know what the features are. And that would be the flip side of the chronological snobbery, the appeal to novelty. So the phone just launched last week, so it has to be better than all the others. So take a second to think about your own life. Can you remember a time when you were persuaded just because something was old and familiar or brand new and shiny? Can anybody think of a time that you were persuaded just because something was old and familiar or brand new and shiny? Yeah. Yep, that was a trend, wasn't it? It's interesting about trends and fads too. They go by so quickly.
I love old memes from 2025.
Yep, some of those definitely will fall into that category as well, actually. Yep, Nikes were the most popular shoes to wear. You felt like you needed to have some of those. All right, let's go to next thing here. Oh yeah, fidget spinners was a big thing for a while too, wasn't it? Okay, so now I'm going to take a look at the week ahead, and then we may have a little bit of time to go back to that earlier video that I didn't show you. So we'll see how we do here. So our week 4 discussion is centered around the question, if the 3 categories of knowledge and knowing are reason, wisdom, and truth, does the modern idea of my truth meet that standard? So to break that down just a little bit, reason involves logical thinking, wisdom implies sound judgment, And truth is about objective reality. Now, does my truth fit into these categories? So wisdom implies sound judgment. Truth is about objective reality. And reason involves logical thinking. And we are speaking kind of a little bit of both, Kinley, because Bible is considered a book of wisdom. And my truth is kind of like a thing that a lot of people are saying, in our contemporary society. So not the truth, but my truth. So it's kind of a subjective standard instead of objective. So does it fit into these categories? Is it based on personal perception, or does it align with objective standards? Yes, Josiah, I am. That's exactly what I'm talking about. How modern culture is saying to find your own truth. And Riley, you're on the right track. So this is what our discussion this week is going to be about. And everybody will be in the same discussion this week. So dig into that one and make sure that you're finding some good arguments for it. So not fallacies, but good arguments for it. Let's see what you come up with. So remember, the discussion closes the day before class. So the day before class 5, so don't procrastinate. Engage with the question and share your perspective. Remember, your insights are valuable, and each person's perspective enhances the conversation for everybody. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with as you discuss this. Now, let's dive into what else you need to focus on this week. First, remember, you can always reach out with questions before class if you have any. And some of you have had some really good questions that have not only helped answer it for yourself, but for others. It's caused me then to share with the rest of the class. So please don't be shy if something comes up that you don't understand. Sometimes it helps clarify it for everyone. If you are here live, your participation in class, number 4, is already checked off your list. So good job. And it looks like pretty much everybody's here. So that was easy this week. Now, if ever you are not able to attend live, make sure you watch the recording and try to get those out later in the same day that we've had class, so that if you need those, you can. You can also rewatch things if you want to do that as part of your studying. We've already covered what's expected for our discussion work. That was our previous slide. And I think everybody's beginning to see how important it is to participate in the discussion portion of the class between classes. Plus, it's kind of fun. As you go through your text, specifically pages 90 to 101, take good notes as usual and complete your homework for this week. Homework this week, by the way, should be a breeze. This is not going to be a hard week homework-wise. Textbook homework is really very light. I recommend actually that you use the opportunity of having a light kind of a homework week to study the various fallacy examples. You will still have your homework quiz that we done, so this will be quiz number 4, but your homework is mainly going to be reading. There's not a lot of fill in the blank or answering of questions going on this week. So you make sure that you use the opportunity to study the fallacy examples that we've covered so far. Our first test is coming up, so it'd also be really great to make sure that you're searching and recording examples of fallacies in your student fallacy notebook. Remember that you can use your student fallacy notebook examples if you haven't previously used them. You can use them in your test. Okay. And then practice your vocabulary using Kahoots for the class. When it comes to vocabulary, that's the foundation of your communication and understanding. So make sure that you're dedicating some time to study that. As usual, you have 2 attempts for the homework quiz, and it's crucial to take it at least once before the deadline to maximize your opportunities, and you can take it after class if needed. Also, there are a couple of you who maybe missed even taking one of the previous quizzes once. You can still take those quizzes. Okay, so does that make sense? If you can't take them twice, but you can get in once. And yes, we may play Kahoot. We'll see how we're doing here. We're getting close to time. Let's finish up with the homework information, and then we might have some time for that. Let's see. Everybody keep up the effort. Any questions? Besides whether we're going to play Kahoot or not. Okay. Looks like everybody's tracking with this. So that's the end of our formal class. It is 22 minutes after, so we do have a little bit of time. For those of you who would like to do Kahoot, I'll switch over to our screen share and we'll do a Kahoot field trip. I see, Elliot. Was your question not about Kahoot? Okay, I'm going to switch us over to the screen share. Bye, Fred. Have a good week.